You know, it's a strange thing. Most people spend their lives chasing youth. They buy creams, they buy pills, they buy illusions. But every once in a while, you meet someone who seems to defy the passage of time, not because they're wealthy or genetically gifted, but because something about the way they live has preserved them, and that's worth examining. Because if you look younger than your age, it isn't just vanity at play, it's biology, psychology, and responsibility intersecting. It's discipline embodied. So today, I want to explore 7 surprising reasons why some people appear younger than the number on their birth certificate suggests. And I warn you, it isn't simply about luck. It's about how you carry yourself, how you think, how you act, and what you value. You might discover that the habits you overlook, the mindset you adopt, or even the way you confront suffering could be the very things that shape not only how old you feel, but how old you look. Stress is not simply an emotional state that comes and goes like the weather. It is a physiological burden that, if left unchecked, accelerates the process of aging in a very real and measurable way. When a person is consistently under stress, their body produces high levels of cortisol, a hormone that prepares you for fight or flight. While that reaction might have been useful in the ancestral environment, today it often lingers far longer than necessary. Prolonged elevation of cortisol breaks down collagen in the skin, reduces the immune system's efficiency, and even impacts the way your body repairs itself at the cellular level. The result is visible in the face, the posture, the energy levels, and even in how others perceive you. This is why someone carrying constant tension often appears older, more fatigued, and less vibrant than their chronological age suggests. Conversely, those who have found ways to manage stress effectively often display the opposite effect. Their skin retains elasticity longer, their eyes remain clearer, and their overall demeanor radiates vitality. And here's the fascinating part: stress management does not require extraordinary measures. It begins with awareness. Many people do not recognize how much stress they carry because it has become the background noise of their existence. They wake up rushing, they move through the day under pressure, and they fall asleep still preoccupied. That state becomes habitual, and habits shape physiology. Recognizing this cycle is the first step toward change. Practical strategies for handling stress, whether through structured practices like meditation, controlled breathing, journaling, or even daily walk, offer profound benefits beyond mental relief. They recalibrate the body's hormonal balance, reducing the destructive wear and tear that stress hormones impose on tissues and organs. More importantly, they shift the nervous system out of perpetual survival mode, which allows the body to allocate energy to repair, regeneration, and growth. Over time, these processes manifest outwardly: smoother skin, more relaxed facial expressions, a calmer voice, and the kind of presence that communicates strength rather than strain. There is also a deeper psychological dimension to this. Stress is often tied to the stories people tell themselves about their lives. The belief that everything must be controlled, that perfection is demanded, or that failure is catastrophic. Those narratives keep the mind locked in conflict. But when someone confronts those beliefs, challenges them, and reframes them, the grip of stress loosens. This psychological resilience not only reduces the invisible strain on the body, but also produces a visible aura of youthfulness. People who can laugh at adversity, who can let go of what is beyond their control, often look and feel younger, even decades beyond their youth. It's important to note that stress will never disappear entirely. Life is inherently difficult, filled with responsibilities and challenges, but how you respond to that difficulty determines how much it ages you. If you allow stress to dominate your biology, it carves itself into your appearance. If you learn to manage it, if you take responsibility for your well-being, then the years may pass without leaving such deep marks upon you. In that sense, appearing younger than your age is not an accident. It is a reflection of discipline, awareness, and the courage to master your own reactions to life's inevitable demands. Sleep is not merely the absence of wakefulness. It is the most fundamental form of biological restoration that the body possesses. Every night, when you allow yourself to slip into deep, consistent sleep, you are engaging in a process that repairs tissues, balances hormones, consolidates memory, and resets the nervous system. Without it, you slowly erode the body's capacity to maintain itself. And it shows. Chronic sleep deprivation makes the eyes dull, the skin pale, and the mind sluggish. In contrast, those who prioritize healthy, consistent sleep cycles often carry a glow that is difficult to fake. They appear more vibrant, alert, and youthful, not because they are fortunate, but because they have allowed the body to do what it is designed to do: recover. The importance of sleep is often underestimated in modern society. Many people wear their lack of sleep like a badge of honor, as if constant busyness were the measure of value. They stay up late, scrolling through screens, consuming stimulants, or working far beyond what is sustainable. The problem with this is that it places the body into a constant state of imbalance. Hormones such as melatonin, which regulate the circadian rhythm, are disrupted. Growth hormone, essential for cellular repair, is suppressed. Cortisol levels remain high, keeping the body in stress mode long after the day's challenges have ended. Over months and years, this pattern accelerates aging at the cellular level, weakening the skin, impairing immunity, and dulling mental sharpness. Now, when someone chooses to maintain a consistent sleep routine, going to bed and waking at roughly the same time each day, the body responds in kind. Circadian rhythms stabilize, which allows sleep to become deeper and more restorative. In that state, the body engages in processes that are invisible but vital. Collagen is repaired, damaged DNA is corrected, the brain clears away toxins that accumulate during waking hours. The visible result is striking. Skin looks smoother, eyes clearer, and the person's overall presence is calmer, more energized. In effect, consistent sleep slows the visible markers of aging. Beyond the biological processes, there is also a psychological dimension. A well-rested individual approaches life differently. They have more patience, more focus, and a greater capacity to manage stress. This emotional stability itself creates an impression of youthfulness. When you meet someone who is perpetually exhausted, their irritability, forgetfulness, and lack of enthusiasm betray their age, often making them seem older than they are. By contrast, those who are well-rested project vitality. Their body language is upright, their words deliberate, and their energy contagious. It is not simply about sleeping more hours, but about sleeping in alignment with the body's natural rhythm. Regular exposure to natural light during the day, reduced use of artificial light at night, and the creation of a calm pre-sleep routine are all simple but profound ways to restore this balance. Many people underestimate how much this matters, but the science is clear. Consistent, quality sleep slows the deterioration that makes people look old before their time. So when you see someone who looks younger than their chronological age, it is worth asking how well they sleep. Often, the answer is that they have respected the biological necessity of rest, and in doing so, they have given themselves the gift of longevity that is visible not just in how they feel, but in how they appear to the world. A person's state of mind is not simply a fleeting mood, it is a powerful force that shapes the body at a deep biological level. When someone cultivates a positive mindset and emotional resilience, they are not only protecting themselves from despair, but also influencing how their body ages. The connection between thought and physiology is undeniable. Chronic negativity, resentment, bitterness, hopelessness keeps the body in a state of stress. It raises cortisol, weakens the immune system, and accelerates inflammation, all of which contribute to premature aging. By contrast, optimism, gratitude, and emotional adaptability reduce the toll of stress, lower blood pressure, and allow the body to function in a state of repair rather than constant defense. Over time, this difference becomes visible in the skin, the posture, and the vitality of a person's face. The people who look younger than their age are often those who refuse to let life's hardships define them. They encounter difficulties, just like everyone else, but they recover instead of being crushed. This resilience allows them to move forward, and that forward movement prevents the kind of stagnation that breeds despair. You can see it in their eyes. They shine with purpose instead of dulling with fatigue. The biological explanation is clear. Emotional resilience prevents stress hormones from dominating the body, but the psychological explanation is just as important. When people believe that their struggles have meaning, they can withstand them without being destroyed. That belief in itself slows the aging of the soul, which inevitably manifests outwardly. A positive mindset also influences behavior. People who are hopeful tend to take better care of themselves. They are more likely to exercise, eat well, and maintain social connections, all of which reinforce youthfulness. Negativity, on the other hand, breeds neglect. When someone is convinced that nothing matters, they are less likely to invest in their health or their relationships. That neglect accelerates aging, both physically and emotionally. In this way, mindset is not only internal, it becomes a practical driver of habits that either protect or undermine longevity. It's worth noting that positivity does not mean naive happiness or blind denial of life's problems. True resilience is built on confronting reality, accepting its difficulties, and refusing to be defeated by them. People who embody this attitude carry a quiet strength. They are not smiling because they have no problems. They are smiling because they know problems do not own them. That subtle difference creates a presence that is deeply attractive and unmistakably youthful. You look at them and you sense vitality, not because they have avoided suffering, but because they have mastered their response to it. The face and body reflect these inner processes. A person who lives in gratitude and resilience often has softer expressions, fewer deep stress lines, and a more relaxed posture. They walk with energy instead of weariness. Their laughter is genuine, their eyes alive. These traits make others perceive them as younger, even if decades have passed. So when you ask why someone looks younger than their age, one of the most powerful answers lies in their mind. If they carry resilience instead of resentment, gratitude instead of bitterness, and purpose instead of despair, their inner life shields them from the erosion that time normally brings. Youthfulness, then, is not only a matter of skin care or diet, it is an outward reflection of the battles fought, and one within the psyche. The food a person consumes is not just fuel, it is raw material for the body's renewal. Every cell in your skin, your muscles, even your brain, is constructed from the nutrients you provide through your diet. When someone consistently eats foods rich in natural antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, they are essentially equipping the body with tools to fight against the silent enemy of aging, oxidative stress. This is the process by which free radicals, unstable molecules produced by metabolism and environmental exposure, damage cells and accelerate the breakdown of tissues. Left unchecked, oxidative stress shows up as wrinkles, dull skin, fatigue, and weakened immunity. But when a diet is full of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and clean proteins, the body gains the defense system it needs to slow that deterioration, making the person appear and feel younger than their years. Antioxidants, found abundantly in colorful plant foods like berries, leafy greens, and citrus fruits, act as protectors of the body's cells. They neutralize free radicals before they can inflict damage, preserving the integrity of skin, organs, and even DNA. This preservation is not merely theoretical, it is visible. Skin retains its elasticity, eyes remain clear, and hair keeps its shine. Those who eat nutrient-dense diets often radiate a kind of vitality that no cosmetic product can replicate. Their youthfulness is the direct consequence of nourishing the body at the deepest level. Beyond antioxidants, the balance of macronutrients matters. Diets high in processed sugars and unhealthy fats spike insulin levels, cause inflammation, and break down collagen, the very protein that keeps skin firm and youthful. By contrast, diets rich in lean proteins, healthy fats like omega-3s, and complex carbohydrates from whole foods provide stable energy, support hormone balance, and maintain cellular repair. Over time, this difference shapes how a person looks and feels. Someone who relies heavily on processed food often develops the markers of premature aging, sagging skin, low energy, and brittle health. Meanwhile, someone who respects their diet as a daily act of self-care retains a fresher, more resilient appearance. Hydration also plays an essential role. Water-rich foods such as cucumbers, melons, and oranges not only provide nutrients but also keep cells hydrated. Adequate hydration plumps the skin, flushes toxins, and supports circulation, giving the body a youthful glow. When hydration is ignored, the skin looks tired and dull, and the body itself struggles with fatigue, which makes a person seem older than they are. There is also a psychological benefit to a nutritious diet. People who take control of their eating habits often develop a sense of discipline and self-respect. This mental attitude contributes to confidence, energy, and optimism, all traits associated with youth. On the other hand, when food choices are careless or destructive, it signals neglect, which not only harms the body but also reflects in the way a person carries themselves. So when you encounter someone who looks remarkably young for their age, their diet is often a hidden factor. They are not simply lucky, they have built their youthfulness meal by meal, day after day, by choosing foods that fight cellular damage and support long-term vitality. The body cannot be fooled, it reflects what you give it. And a diet rich in natural, wholesome nutrition is one of the most powerful ways to preserve both appearance and vitality over time. An active lifestyle is not just about burning calories or shaping the body, it is about keeping the entire system, muscles, bones, heart, brain, and even skin in a state of renewal. Movement is life, and when a person embraces regular physical activity, they slow the clock in ways that are both measurable and visible. Exercise stimulates circulation, delivering oxygen and nutrients to cells while flushing out toxins. This improved blood flow gives the skin a natural glow, often described as the post-workout radiance, which over time contributes to a more youthful appearance. In contrast, a sedentary lifestyle allows stagnation to set in, muscles weaken, metabolism slows, and the body begins to show the marks of premature aging. Regular movement also preserves muscle mass, which is critical to maintaining a youthful frame. After the age of 30, most people naturally lose muscle unless they actively work to preserve it. This loss leads to frailty, poor posture, and a slower metabolism, all signals of aging. Strength training, even at moderate levels, protects against this decline, keeping the body firm, upright, and strong. When posture remains straight and muscles remain toned, a person can look a decade younger than their chronological age. Energy levels, too, are preserved through activity. People who move regularly carry themselves with vitality, while those who remain sedentary often seem sluggish and older. Exercise also plays a key role in regulating hormone. Physical activity reduces excess cortisol, the stress hormone, while boosting endorphins and other mood-enhancing chemicals. This balance not only improves emotional well-being, but also prevents the breakdown of collagen and other tissues associated with chronic stress. Furthermore, activity stimulates the release of human growth hormone HGH, which supports repair, regeneration, and fat metabolism, functions closely tied to youthful energy and appearance. These internal shifts inevitably become visible in the way a person looks and feels. Another critical aspect is brain health. Regular physical activity has been shown to improve cognitive function, memory, and emotional stability. Movement increases the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, a protein that supports the growth and survival of neurons. People who exercise consistently often appear sharper, more alert, and more engaged with life, traits that others perceive as signs of youth. In contrast, inactivity dulls the mind and creates an impression of weariness. It is also important to remember that activity does not have to mean extreme fitness routines. Walking, cycling, dancing, swimming, or even consistent stretching are enough to maintain circulation, mobility, and vitality. The key is regularity. Movement that is integrated into daily life becomes a rhythm that sustains youthfulness, while sporadic or absent activity leaves the body to decline faster than it should. Finally, the psychological benefits of an active lifestyle cannot be overlooked. Exercise creates discipline, resilience, and confidence, qualities that radiate outward. When someone walks into a room with energy, strength, and presence, they immediately appear younger than someone who shuffles in with fatigue. In this sense, regular movement is not only a physical practice, but also a statement of how a person chooses to engage with life itself. So when you encounter someone who looks younger than their years, chances are movement is part of their secret. Their youthful glow, strong posture, and vibrant energy are not accidents. They are the natural rewards of honoring the body through regular, intentional activity that keeps the spirit and the flesh alive. Human beings are not designed to live in isolation. From the earliest tribes to modern societies, connection has always been a lifeline, not just for survival, but for health and vitality. Strong social bonds and a clear sense of purpose act as invisible shields against the effects of aging. When people are embedded in meaningful relationships and guided by something greater than themselves, they carry a spark that is difficult to extinguish. That spark shows up physically, emotionally, and psychologically, often making them appear far younger than their chronological age. Loneliness, by contrast, is corrosive. Studies show it is as harmful to health as smoking or obesity. When someone is chronically isolated, stress hormones rise, immune function weakens, and depression creeps in. The face hardens, energy wanes, and life loses its brightness. This invisible weight accelerates aging. On the other hand, those who maintain strong connections with family, friends, or community benefit from shared laughter, emotional support, and a sense of belonging. These experiences reduce stress, release oxytocin, and boost resilience. The result is visible, softer expressions, livelier eyes, and an energy that radiates youthfulness. Purpose adds another dimension. It is not enough simply to be surrounded by people. One must also feel that life has meaning. Individuals with a clear sense of why they wake up in the morning, whether it's caring for loved ones, pursuing a vocation, serving a cause, or even mastering a craft, tend to live longer and look younger. Purpose focuses the mind, energizes the body, and prevents the stagnation that comes from drifting without direction. When you meet someone with purpose, you sense it immediately. Their posture is stronger, their words more deliberate, and their presence more magnetic. That vitality is indistinguishable from youth itself. There is also the matter of joy. Social bonds and purpose generate experiences of joy and fulfillment, which trigger the release of dopamine and serotonin, neurochemicals that support not only happiness but also cellular health. Chronic joylessness accelerates aging by leaving the body in a state of depletion. In contrast, the laughter shared with friends or the satisfaction of working towards something meaningful nourishes both mind and body. Over time, these small but powerful moments of fulfillment accumulate into a noticeable difference in how a person looks and feels. Even simple rituals of connection, sharing meals, telling stories, walking together, can preserve vitality. They remind the individual that they are part of something larger, which reduces existential stress and the kind of despair that visibly ages a person. This is why some of the world's longest living populations place such emphasis on community and shared purpose. Their youthfulness is not a product of expensive interventions, but of deeply human habits of connection and meaning. So when you encounter someone who seems ageless, radiant, and full of life, it is often because they are not carrying the burden of loneliness or aimlessness. They are sustained by bonds of love and anchored by purpose. These forces provide resilience in the face of hardship and keep the spirit alive. And when the spirit remains alive, the body follows. Looking young, then, is not merely a reflection of genetics or skincare. It is, in many cases, the direct result of living a life connected to others and directed by meaning.